Hi students, it's Dr. Kroll. I had a student ask about kind of confirming that their submissions were accepted in Canvas. So I'm going to use module number 1 as a demonstration module. The first item my students are working on in week 1 is a discussion board topic. So I do cover that in a different video. So up in our welcome module, we have how to turn on Canvas notifications and how to use the discussion boards. So I cover some information there. I will add this video as well, how to confirm you have submitted your assignments in Canvas here momentarily. So I'm going to skip over the discussion board. We know both of these are discussion boards. So you'll notice the little icon here to the left of your assignments and resources and all of that. They have a meaning. It represents something. So this is a page of information. This is a discussion. Again, a page of information, another discussion board. Some discussion boards are not graded. So this one here, we're just looking for some volunteers. There's no grade associated with it. For my classes, I always keep graded items under the assignment heading. Other instructors may not use that method. That is one that I use. So I always have assignments, and then the items for this week, the corresponding week, are right underneath. So we have 2 discussion boards that are graded. And then here I have a page with a little pencil. So this represents an assignment. And I think for our class, that is really all we have on here are discussions and assignments. There are times where an instructor might have a quiz. And if I recall correctly, the icon for that is a little rocket ship. So there are a variety of things you might have due. So let's just look at this week 1 recap. So I'm going to go ahead and click in here. Okay, so here we have the instructions for your assignment. And of course, all instructors do that a little bit differently. This would also include some writing expectations because we are in week 1, want to make sure that's clear. I've included an AI statement for my students. And so then at the bottom, I see my options for submitting. I'm going to scroll back to the top and point something out to you as well. There's an option to add a comment. So when I send the submission to the instructor in the grading portal, the instructor will see what I've submitted, and they'll also see this comment box. Now, some instructors might be more attuned to, checking that comment box, but it is pretty obvious to us. Now, next, the instructor may comment back to you. They might give you feedback on your assignment, and so it'll follow in this little comment box. Here is the caveat. So from there, the instructor typically doesn't receive any kind of notification if you then reply to the instructor. So when you submit something, sure, use the comment box to let the instructor know if there's, any kind of like nuance or something that you want to let them know. But after that, the best way to get in touch with your instructor about an assignment would be through email, inbox, whatever is their preference. Okay. Now, let's come back down. So let's say we're ready to submit. There might be other options here if the instructor has maybe allowed an external URL. Let's say you created a website and then you can pop that external URL right into the submission. That wasn't one of the items we're submitting because you can see here the instructor has requested a DOC or a DOCX. There might be times that the instructor has limited it to a PDF. You have a PDF that's required. Maybe it's a WAV file. Maybe you've created a podcast. It's an MP4. So there's a variety of things, but you'll see if the instructor has limited what you're submitting. And the reason in this case I do is just to make sure we all know how to submit a doc, because sometimes students submit like a word pad or something that isn't frequently used, and then I don't have access to that. So this just helps keep us kind of meeting expectation and on the same page. All right, so I think the easiest option here is to either click upload or to drag the file. So I'm going to go ahead and drag over. I have opened this box from my computer. So like down here, you have your little computer folder. You can always add that down there. And then I keep in my documents area, I have different folders with different topics. You can see the numbers are at the top here. So these are some family portraits. But what I would recommend for students, if you don't already have a good filing system, and you might have, your school might have a way to save this on a shared drive or a different network, and then you can access it more places than just your hard drive. But in this example, this is just on my hard drive. anyhow, wherever you store these items, I highly recommend using a filing system. And so I would label each class. You could do by year. I mean, there's a variety of organizational systems. So pick one and go with it. But I do recommend doing that by class. All right, so let's say the assignment was in this folder. I'm going to find my assignment. Here it is. This isn't actually it. This is just an example, but nonetheless, I have this Word doc here ready to go. So I can simply drag it over and it's loading. And now I see that it's loaded and it's a DOCX. Now that was created in Microsoft. You saw the little Microsoft icon, but you can also have create a doc from a Google Doc. All right, so from here, I'm ready to submit. You might be asking what the studio is. So this is a place that some instructors might request that you submit a video so you can create your video right here in Canvas. But in this case, no, we're doing a doc or docs. So I'm going to go on down to this right-hand side, submit assignment. All right. Yay. So now we get the confetti. In this case, we've also added little horseshoes. Isn't that super cute? And then I see a template. This is not, obviously, this is just for demonstration purposes. But you'll be able to see what you've done. All right, I could do a second attempt. Let's say it's previous to the due date and I found a grammar or spelling check situation. Okay, so as long as your instructor has allowed multiple attempts, which most instructors do, and in my experience, then you could just add a new attempt. When the instructor gets to the grade book, they'll see the most recent attempt. So we would assume the most recent attempt is the one that you want us to review. Now, there could be time where the instructor has asked for two documents, and so that's why you would do this, right? You could do it in that way. You could also add a comment. I made some adjustments. Please review the most recently submitted, the current submission. All right, well, let's say I was back in my modules and I just wanted to confirm, right, just to feel good about this. So I can always go back. Here I go, week 1 recap. Did it take? Did the computer do what it said it was going to do? I can see right here, it says attempt number 1. It has not been graded, so there is no score yet. But I do see, yes, here it is, so I can confirm. All right, there's one more thing that I want to show you because there are different ways that instructors might look to gauge your knowledge and what you're learning in class. So I made a little demonstration assignment down here. So here we go. I'm going to go to this demonstration assignment. Okay, so for this one, the student has the option to enter into the text box directly. So this is going to look similar to a discussion board, other than there's no reply. This is just text to the instructor. So I'm going to click the text. My little box opens. So this might be an instructor has like an open-ended question. So you don't need to create a whole document. You can just type right into this text box. Now, depending on your instructor's instructions, you might consider typing up your assignment. So let's say there was an assignment here and it said, submit a recap of what we talked about today in 3 bullet points. Heart of the dog. So if that were the case and you were worried like, oh, my computer glitches, my Wi-Fi goes out, whatever it is, I could compose my 3 bullet points in a different program, Microsoft Word, whatever, copy and paste it into this text box, and then I will submit my answers to the instructor. I can change font. I can change a little bit. There's also formatting items here. There's insert as well, course links. This doesn't apply to students that much, but external links, if you were going to, I could highlight this and then link to something. I could insert images, documents, media, things like that. So that would be another option for you, and I would click submit. All right, students, confetti. I hope this was helpful to you. And if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And happy working. And I hope you enjoyed your video. All right, bye.